I don't believe in anything real. I want an unwavering, unrealistic optimism that I am always going to win. And I will do what it takes, to include cutting my ankle off, to win. Good afternoon, folks. Jake Zweig here, United States Naval Academy graduate, University of Michigan MBA, 15-year Division I football coach, business owner, mentor to the world's greatest. A shout out to John McElway, sent me this awesome document from Chris Donnelly. We're going to go through it. I know I get a lot of questions about how to build resiliency, how to build grit, how to build mental toughness. My answer is normally flat out, go work construction. But we're going to dig into this document right here that you see on my left, shine some light on some things you can do to become a little bit better. How to build resilience, the ultimate guide to improving mental strength. There's some things in here I agree with, and there's some things that I'm like, so we'll talk about it. We'll start at the top with vision. Purpose, meaning, smart goals, and alignment. It's pretty hard to have any resilience in a long fight to achieve something without goals. You guys know that I'm big on goal setting, short-term, long-term, and mid-term goals. Maybe a weekly goal, a 2-month goal, and then a year goal. But we want to have 3 goals. Totally agree with this vision statement right here. Purpose, meaning, smart goals, and alignment. Composure. This is one that gets overlooked. Emotional intelligence, control and authority. So control and authority to me means I am always in control of my own personal well-being, and I'm always in control of my authority. The example I'm going to give you in SEAL training, the instructors are in control. But I took back control from the instructors by not allowing them to beat me with physical pain. I would tell them every day, the more you beat me today, the stronger I'm going to get, the more you're going to have to beat me tomorrow. But you will not break me today, so therefore tomorrow we'll be out here just a little bit longer. How long are you willing to wait? What happened? Instructors realized that, 217 is a bunch of animals. Better off not beating them because they're just going to talk shit to us the whole time. So we took back control from some instructors at the United States Navy SEAL training, kept our composure. Mindfulness. I don't know about mindfulness, right? Like mindfulness, that sounds great, but what does that have to do with mental toughness? Okay, reasoning. Plan and anticipate. This is a big one. What I'm going to use in this is on the end of a conditioning run in BUDS, they would always run past the compound. We never stopped at the compound. But every time we ran past the compound, people would quit. I couldn't for the life of me understand it, but I was anticipating that we would not stop. I was anticipating that we would run forever. Therefore, when we stopped, I was like, oh man, we finally stopped. Okay. Reasoning. Resourcefulness. The more resourceful you are, the better you can be overall resilient because you will find a way to win. You will think about something, you will get help, you will reach out, you will look at the situation different than everybody else. That's resourcefulness. Resourcefulness comes from your ability to solve problems. That's what it is. Problem solving, same thing, right? Leads into problem solving, your ability to go out there and think differently than everybody else is thinking, or apply a set of solutions that you've had in the past to solve a problem. Absolutely. Building resiliency. Health. Okay. This is the one that's kind of in there. Okay. Exercise and nutrition. So we're talking a lot about special operations, aviation, all of those pipelines. You got to be resilient. Let me tell you something. Medical school students got to be resilient. Mass amount of resilience over in medical school. Their exercise and nutrition is important. If you don't have the right nutrition, you can't work 24-hour shifts in the medical ward. Quality of sleep. Quality of sleep is hugely important. All right. Relaxation. Tell everybody, man, you could take a 5-minute power nap. You could take a 5-minute daydream and recharge your whole batteries. Tenacity. We talk about tenacity. A realistic optimism. Let me tell you something. I don't believe in anything real. I want an unwavering, unrealistic optimism that I am always going to win. And I will do what it takes to include cutting my ankle off to win. All right? I don't want no realism in this. It don't have to be realistic. Self-belief. I will always win. Persistence. So persistent practice is one of the key attributes to becoming a world-class athlete. Persistent practice simply means that you do something over and over and over that's measurable, and you get better a little bit every day. Over the course of time, you will become world class. The example I'm going to use, man, I got my butt beat by Margaret, the head basketball coach at Catholic University, former WNBA player. I wasn't happy, man. Shout out to Margaret Carey. I think she got married, got a couple kids now. Just want to remind you what happened in that gym back at Catholic University. Just in case you forgot, Margaret, I'll make sure I send this to you. We were playing 21. She beat the living mess out of me. You all know I'm a wrestler. I'm not a basketball player. Boom. Started shooting free throws every day, man. I got up to 11 in a row. And then she challenged me. And I beat her bad the first game. Beat her bad. She came back the next game and beat me pretty good. And in that third game, we were at war. It came all the way down to the last 2 free throws. They were mine. I made both of them. Walked off the court victorious. Okay, how'd I do it, man? Every day I shot free throws. If I made 10 today, I tried to make 11 tomorrow. I just told you it took me 7 months to get to 11 free throws. There was a lot of days where I didn't improve, but I got better at shooting. I got better and better and better. And then it bled over into my pickup basketball game. I got better. Persistent practice is the key to getting better. Okay, now, here's one of these that I'm kind of like, this is the one section where collaboration. All right. I think everybody needs support at some times, but in the world we come from, man, you got to be a lone soldier that's able to be resilient without any help or collaboration. Buds is one of the most alienating events that I've ever been in, because if you quit, ain't nobody stopping you. You got to control your own brain. And although it's a lot of team activities, it's not a lot of team function. Now, when you get to the SEAL teams, it flips around. There's a lot of team function in the SEAL teams, a massive amount. But in Buds, no, sir. Support networks. I think support networks are important, but I don't think they're the end of the world. Good relationships, okay? You can't be in bad relationships with bad people and expect to be resilient. Trust and teamwork. Absolutely. Trust is the number one driver of team success. If a team trusts each other, they're unstoppable. Normally, trust is the number one factor that goes into bad teams. Obviously, teamwork goes with trust and collaboration. Yes, good relationships, trust and teamwork are very important, but you've got to be resilient even in the face of those. Solid. Let's go look at 6 methods for increasing resiliency. I'm going to add a couple more. Goggins, 40% rule. Absolutely. Your mind will be the first thing to give up. Embrace the uncomfortable and keep going. Action. When your mind is telling you to stop, you have only reached 40% of your limit. Keep going. In the state semifinal match, I was down. Going into the third period, I had to choose both standing. I was exhausted. I don't know why, but I was tired. I told myself, no, I'm not tired. And as soon as the referee blew the whistle, I attacked my man and ended up getting out of that period with a win. I don't know how I did it. I was exhausted and my body just went well past what I was capable of doing in my mind. That was the first time that I had been like, holy smokes, this is pretty incredible. Absolutely. There's always more to give in your body. McGonagall's challenge response. Transform stress into a powerful ally. I cannot say this enough. When faced with stress, constantly choose to see it as a challenge to overcome rather than a threat to avoid. I embrace stress. When you know something is stressful, it becomes easy. If it's hard, everybody would be doing it. You're different. You're an outlier. You're an animal. Embrace stress. Because the best monitor, regulate, and control stress by dominating life. No questions asked. That's a great one. Cognitive reframing. Your outlook shapes your experiences. Explore, change your pessimistic thoughts. Okay, let me tell you something, man. I got a saying in my family, there ain't no stinking thinking. Always positive. Something, it can always be worse. That's my other one. It can always be worse. It can always be worse. So my son was whining a little bit last night, so we ran a little sprints. Okay. You know what I did? In the middle of the sprints, he didn't want to tie his shoes, so I took his shoes off of him. Next thing you know, my man's running sprints in no shoes. I asked him what's going on. He said, Dad, it can always be worse. I said, yes, sir, it can. Always identify negative thoughts as they occur, evaluate their accuracy, and counter them with evidence-based, realistic, positive statements. Let me tell you something, man. If it's negative, I'm like, it can always be worse. Then that looks really good. 12 people sitting at a table. They all push their problems into the middle of the table. You look around at the other 11 people's problems, and the first thing you do is pull your problems back into your seat because you realize you ain't facing nothing compared to the other 11 people at that table. Stockdale's paradox. Face the brutal truth, yet never lose faith. Admiral Stockdale was in a prisoner of war camp in Vietnam for 6 years. Led and did not leave when he had the opportunity early on. He felt it was his duty to run this prisoner of war camp, and a lot of people died, man. A lot of U.S. service members just died in that prisoner of war camp. Acknowledge the severity of your situation without sugarcoating it, but maintain faith in your eventual success and take active steps towards the solution. So Admiral Stockdale played golf, man. Played golf every day. Came back at 7 handicap. 7 handicap, been playing golf in a prisoner of war cell. No fingernails, no toenails, teeth missing, shoulders broke. Totally physically defeated, but mentally strong and resilient. Premeditation Mandalorian. This stoic rule encourages you to prepare for the worst case scenario by visualization. Totally agree, man. I'm not going to sit here and think about the worst case situation in a competitive environment, in a resilient situation. However, on a 4-mile time run in Buds, I'm always going to say this run's never going to end. I'm going to be running until the end, right? I'm not going to let them get me with, hey, when 5 people quit, we'll stop the run. I'm just going to keep running. I don't necessarily 100% agree with this because I'm never going to forecast worst case scenarios into my athletic mind ever. I will, however, prepare in a real world leadership situation. My job is to look into the future and see problems and take actions now so they do not manifest. So some places, yes, other places, no. Action. Visualize and explore the worst case scenario to reduce any anxiety and stress around this outcome. Somewhat. The 5x5 rule. Don't sweat the small stuff. Think long term. Totally agree, man. Live where your feet are. Okay? Don't sweat the small stuff. Think long term. If it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes being upset about it. Absolutely, man. Shout out to my man Chris. All right, now we got through with his document. Let's talk some real how to build resiliency to get in world-class shape. I tell everybody go work construction, man. The other thing I tell people is to be around resilient people. You are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. If you're around a bunch of whiners, you're going to be a whiner. Surround yourself with resilient, tough people. You become resilient and tough because you don't want to let them down. All right, folks, make sure you go check out the school's classroom. We dropping fire over there on all sorts of topics, man. Medical school, how to fly, anything you name, special operations, leadership training, entrepreneurship. We're over there doing good things, man.